You are your only competition. Master yourself, and you master everything. Every day there's one battle that matters more than anything else. It's not against your boss, your circumstances, or even the people who doubt you. It's the battle between you and yourself. The choices you make every single day decide whether you move forward or stay stuck. The problem is, most people don't even realize they're in this battle. They let bad habits take over. They give in to excuses, and they allow fear to hold them back. But if you want to change your life, you have to take control. The truth is, no one is stopping you except you. It's not about luck. It's not about waiting for the right time. It's about deciding right now that you are done making excuses. You are done waiting. You are done letting the weaker version of you win. Because every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you lose. Every time you give in to distractions, you lose. But the moment you take responsibility, the moment you stop looking for an easy way out, that's when everything changes. This video is not about motivation that fades after a few hours. This is about discipline, about making decisions that push you forward even when you don't feel like it. Because the people who succeed are not the ones who feel motivated all the time. They are the ones who show up, even when they don't want to. They are the ones who push through, even when it's hard. If you're tired of being stuck, if you're ready to stop holding yourself back, then stay with me. By the end of this video, you will see exactly what has been standing in your way and how to overcome it. You versus you. The only fight that truly matters. Let's get into it. Number 1. Your biggest enemy is your own laziness. There's one thing standing between you and everything you've ever wanted. It's not luck. It's not circumstances. It's not even other people. It's you. It's your own laziness. That quiet, creeping force that keeps you from taking action. That voice in your head that tells you, it's okay, you can do it later. And before you know it, later becomes never. You see, the biggest problem isn't that you're not smart enough, strong enough, or talented enough. The biggest problem is that most people never push themselves hard enough to find out what they're truly capable of. They stop before they even begin. They waste time waiting for motivation, not realizing that motivation is earned, not given. It comes from doing the work, not from sitting around thinking about it. Laziness doesn't always look like lying in bed all day. Sometimes it looks like endless distractions. You check your phone for 5 minutes, and suddenly an hour is gone. You say you'll start tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, you find another excuse. You tell yourself it's okay to relax today, because you'll work harder later, but later never comes. Every time you delay, every time you give in to laziness, you're making a choice. A choice to stay the same. A choice to keep living below your potential. A choice to let another day slip away without progress. And what happens when you keep making the same choice over and over again? You build a habit of laziness. And habits are hard to break. But here's the truth. Just like you built the habit of avoiding hard work, you can build the habit of taking action. It starts with one simple decision. Stop giving yourself options. Stop making laziness an acceptable choice. When the alarm goes off, get up. When it's time to work, start. When you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway. And no, it won't feel good at first. Your mind will resist. Your body will want comfort. Your thoughts will try to convince you that it's okay to wait. But if you push through that feeling, even once, you'll see how much power you actually have. And that's the turning point. That's when you stop being controlled by laziness and start controlling your own future. Because here's the reality. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to drag you out of bed. Nobody is going to force you to take action. It's all on you. If you don't take control of your habits will take control of you. And if laziness takes control, your dreams, your goals, your future, they disappear. Think about where you could be in a year if you stopped letting laziness win. Think about what your life would look like if you showed up every single day, no matter how you felt. If you worked hard when nobody was watching. If you pushed yourself when it was uncomfortable. Imagine the confidence you'd build, the progress you'd make, the results you'd see. Now think about where you'll be if you don't change. If you keep putting things off, if you keep making excuses, if you let another year pass, still stuck in the same place, still wishing, still hoping, but never doing. That's the difference between the people who succeed and the people who stay the same. The ones who succeed didn't let laziness run their life. They decided enough is enough, and that's the decision you have to make. Right now, not later, not tomorrow. Right now, you don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to be disciplined enough to start. And once you start, once you break free from the cycle of laziness, you'll see just how much power you've had all along. So stand up, move forward, do the work, because the only thing standing in your way is you. Number 2, fix your bad habits before they control you. There comes a time when you have to look yourself in the mirror and be brutally honest. No more excuses. No more telling yourself that you'll change someday. Because here's the truth. Your habits are shaping your life, whether you like it or not. The question is, are they shaping the life you want? Every action you take, no matter how small, is either moving you closer to success or pulling you further away from it. And most people don't even realize it's happening. They wake up, go through the same routine, make the same decisions, and expect something to change. But nothing will change until you change the habits that are holding you back. Bad habits don't seem like a big deal at first. Sleeping in a little longer, skipping one workout, spending an extra hour on your phone. It feels harmless in the moment, but that's how bad habits work. They creep in slowly. They start as little choices, barely noticeable. Then before you know it, they control you. You tell yourself that one more day won't make a difference, that you'll get serious next week, that you'll start being disciplined when you're feeling more motivated. But that day never comes, because habits don't wait for you to be ready. They either work for you or they work against you. And if you don't take control of them, they will control you. Think about the habits that are running your life right now. The ones that steal your time, the ones that drain your energy, the ones that keep you stuck in the same place, year after year. Maybe it's wasting hours scrolling through your phone. Maybe it's making excuses instead of taking action. Maybe it's surrounding yourself with people who bring you down instead of lift you up. And if you don't fix these habits, if you keep pretending they don't matter, they will define your future. Because your life is the result of what you do every single day. Not what you do once in a while. Not what you plan to do. Not what you say you'll do, but what you actually do. So how do you break free? How do you stop these bad habits before they take over your life? It starts with awareness. You have to be honest with yourself about the patterns that are holding you back. You have to face the reality of your own actions. No more blaming circumstances. No more pretending you don't have control. You do. The next step is to replace those bad habits with better ones. Not all at once. Not by trying to change everything overnight. That never works. But by making small intentional changes, one at a time. If you're wasting time on your phone, set a limit. If you're skipping workouts, commit to just 10 minutes a day. If you're surrounded by negativity, spend more time alone until you find better influences. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to change everything in one day. But you do need to start. Because the longer you wait, the deeper those bad habits will dig into your life, and the harder they'll be to break. Your mind will try to resist. It will tell you that change is too hard, that it's too late, that you've tried before and failed. But that's just your comfort zone talking. And your comfort zone wants to keep you exactly where you are, stuck. But you are not stuck. You can take control. You can rewrite your habits. You can create a life where your daily actions lead to progress instead of regret. The power is in your hands, right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. So make the decision, break the cycle, take back control. Because if you don't fix your bad habits now, they will control you for the rest of your life. And that is not a future you want to live in. Number 3, train your mind like you train your body. There is no success without discipline. There is no growth without effort. And if you want to be strong in life, you need to start where all strength begins, with your mind. Because the truth is, if your mind is weak, everything else falls apart. Your confidence, your decisions, your discipline. It all depends on how strong your mind is. And just like a muscle, your mind needs training. It needs repetition. It needs challenge. If you don't train it, it stays weak. And a weak mind makes a weak life. Most people don't even realize how out of shape their minds are They let every little distraction pull them away from their goals. They give in to every small temptation. They quit as soon as things get hard. They allow their emotions to control their actions instead of the other way around. And then they wonder why they're not getting ahead. They wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why life keeps throwing the same challenges at them over and over again. It's because they've never trained their mind to be strong enough to push through. Your body responds to the effort you put in. You work out, you get stronger. You push yourself, you gain endurance. The same goes for your mind. If you challenge it, if you push it, if you demand more from it, it will grow. But if you let it stay comfortable, if you let it stay weak, it will keep you stuck in the same place forever. Most people wait for motivation to take action. They think they need to feel ready before they can start. But that's not how it works. The strongest people, the ones who actually achieve something in life, don't wait to feel motivated. They train their minds to take action even when they don't feel like it. They don't let their emotions decide their future. They take control. So how do you train your mind? How do you build mental strength? The same way you build physical strength. You start with discipline. You stop making excuses. You stop letting laziness win. You set a goal and you commit to it. Not when it's easy, not just when you feel good, but every single day you make the hard choices. You do the things you don't want to do. And every time you push yourself past your comfort zone, you get stronger. Most people avoid challenges. They avoid discomfort. They take the easy way out whenever they can. And that's why they stay stuck. Because nothing changes if you only do what's easy. Strength is built in resistance. Growth happens when you struggle and push through. Start small, but be consistent. If you're always making excuses, challenge yourself to follow through, no matter what. If you always quit when things get hard, force yourself to keep going just a little longer. If you let negative thoughts control you, fight back. Train your mind to be disciplined. Train it to be focused. Train it to work for you, not against you. Because here's the truth. Life is going to test you. It's going to throw obstacles in your way. It's going to try to break you. And if your mind is weak, you will break. But if you've trained it, if you've built it up, if you've strengthened it day by day, nothing can stop you. You won't crumble under pressure. You won't give in when things get tough. You'll stand strong. You'll push forward. You'll win. The choice is yours. You can either train your mind and take control of your life, or you can stay where you are and let the world decide your future for you. But understand this. If you choose to stay weak, if you choose to avoid discipline, you will never reach your full potential. And that is a price far too high to pay. Number 4, focus on your growth, not on their approval. There comes a time when you have to make a decision about your life. Are you going to live for yourself, or are you going to spend your days chasing the approval of others? Because let me tell you something. If you live for their approval, you will die by their rejection. If you spend your life trying to impress people, trying to meet their expectations, trying to be who they want you to be, you will never become who you were meant to be. You will waste your potential trying to fit into a mold that was never meant for you. And at the end of the day, after all that effort, you'll still never satisfy everyone. No matter what you do, there will always be someone who disagrees with you. There will always be someone who doubts you, someone who criticizes you, someone who thinks you're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. And if you let their words dictate your actions, you will never move forward. You will always hold yourself back, waiting for permission that will never come. You need to understand something. Growth and approval don't go hand in hand. Growth means stepping outside of what's comfortable. It means making choices that not everyone will understand. It means taking risks, trying, failing, and trying again. And guess what? Not everyone is going to support that. Not everyone is going to cheer you on. Some people will doubt you. Some will laugh at you. Some will even try to stop you. And that's fine, because their approval is not the goal. Your growth is. The most successful people in the world did not get there by trying to be liked. They didn't waste time worrying about what others thought of them. They focused on their vision. They focused on improving themselves. They focused on putting in the work, day after day, regardless of who was watching or what anyone had to say. And that's exactly what you need to do. Stop waiting for validation. Stop looking for permission. Stop expecting people to understand your journey when it's not theirs to understand. The truth is, some of the people you're trying so hard to impress don't even have their own life figured out. So why would you let their opinions decide your future? Most people don't chase their dreams. They settle. They stay comfortable. They take the safe route. And when they see you doing something different, something bold, something that forces them to question their own choices, they get uncomfortable. That's why they judge. That's why they doubt. It's not really about you. It's about them. But you can't let their fears become your limits. You can't let their doubts stop you from becoming who you're meant to be. Your life is yours. Your path is yours. And if you waste it worrying about whether or not people approve, you will look back one day and regret every single moment you held yourself back. Start focusing on your own progress. Start paying attention to how far you've come, instead of worrying about who's clapping for you. If you keep improving, if you keep learning, if you keep pushing yourself to be better than you were yesterday, you will win. Not because people approve, but because you refuse to stay the same. The only opinion that truly matters is the one you have of yourself. The only approval you need is your own. If you are proud of the work you're doing, if you know you're pushing yourself to be better, if you know you're taking steps toward the life you want, that's enough. Don't waste your energy trying to change people's minds about you. Use that energy to change your life. One day, the same people who doubted you will look at you in disbelief. The same people who didn't support you will pretend they always believed in you. But by then it won't even matter. Because you didn't do it for them. You did it for you. And that's the only thing that truly matters. Number 5. If you waste today, you're stealing from your future. There are two kinds of people in this world. The ones who make the most of today, and the ones who let today slip away like it doesn't matter. And here's the truth. If you waste today, you are stealing from your own future. You are taking away opportunities, progress, and success that could have been yours. Because every single day you let pass by without effort, without discipline, without purpose, is a day you will never get back. Time doesn't pause. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't give second chances. Every day matters. People think they have time. That's the biggest lie. They say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start next week. I'll be serious about my goals later. But they don't realize that time is moving whether they act or not. And while they sit there waiting for the perfect moment, life is passing them by. Other people, the ones who take today seriously, are getting ahead. They are putting in the work. They are improving. They are moving forward while everyone else is standing still. And when the future comes, the difference will be clear. Your future is not built in some distant, far-off place. It is built today, right now, in the decisions you make, in the habits you follow, in the work you put in. If you are wasting today, you are robbing yourself of everything you could be, the person you want to become, the success you want to achieve, the life you dream about. It all depends on what you do with your time. Think about it. Every great achievement, every strong body, every brilliant mind, every successful career was built one day at a time. Nobody wakes up suddenly successful. Nobody just arrives at greatness. It is earned daily by those who respect time. The ones who understand that each day is an investment in the future. If you plant the right seeds today, you will reap the rewards later. But if you waste today, don't be surprised when the future brings you nothing but regret. Regret is the heaviest burden you can carry. Looking back and realizing that you had the chance, but you didn't take it, that you had the time, but you let it slip away, that you had the ability, but you didn't use it. There is nothing worse than knowing you could have done more, but you chose not to. And when that regret comes, there is nothing you can do to fix it. You can't rewind time. You can't go back and change your choices. All you have is right now. That's why you can't afford to waste today. You can't afford to be lazy, to procrastinate, to make excuses. Every day you skip the work. Every day you choose comfort over progress. Every day you say, I'll do it later, is a day stolen from the life you could have built. And the truth is, you don't know how many days you have left. That's why you need to act like every day is important. Because discipline is what separates those who succeed from those who fail. The ones who win in life are not the ones with more talent or more luck. They are the ones who show up, who do the work, who respect time and use it wisely. They are the ones who don't waste today, because they know today is all they have. Look around at the people who are stuck, the ones who never reach their potential, the ones who always complain about how life is unfair. Ask yourself, what do they do with their time? You will see a pattern. They waste it. They make excuses. They wait for motivation instead of taking action. They spend hours scrolling, watching, avoiding responsibility. And then years later, they wonder why nothing changed for them. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to wake up one day and realize you let your life pass you by. You don't want to look back with regret, knowing you had the opportunity, the time, the ability, but you chose to waste it. If you waste today, you are making a choice. You are choosing to settle. You are choosing to hold yourself back. And every wasted day makes it harder to catch up. Success belongs to those who are serious about their time. It belongs to the ones who use today wisely, who don't wait for the perfect moment, who don't waste their days watching others succeed while they sit on the sidelines. Every action you take today, every bit of effort, every smart decision is shaping your future. So what are you going to do? Are you going to steal from your own future by wasting today? Or are you going to show up, put in the work, and make today count? Because if you do that, if you make every single day a step toward your goals, you will look back one day and realize you built the life you wanted, not by luck, not by waiting, but by using your time wisely, every single day. Number 6, stop comparing, run your own race. There comes a time when you have to wake up and realize that the only person you should be competing with is yourself. Too many people are stuck in a race they were never supposed to run. They wake up every day, not focused on their own progress, but consumed by what someone else is doing. Scrolling through social media, looking at other people's success, measuring themselves against someone else's timeline, feeling behind, feeling like they're not enough. And that's exactly why they never move forward. Because instead of running their own race, they're too busy watching someone else's. You have to understand something. Comparison is a game you will never win. There will always be someone ahead of you, someone making more money, someone getting more recognition, someone achieving something you haven't yet. And if you measure your worth, your happiness, or your progress based on someone else's journey, you will never feel satisfied. Because no matter how much you achieve, there will always be another level, another person doing something bigger, another reason to feel like you're not doing enough. That's a dangerous trap. And if you fall into it, you will waste your entire life chasing after a finish line that isn't even yours. You don't know what someone else had to go through to get where they are. You don't see the sacrifices, the late nights, the struggles, the failures. All you see is the highlight reel, the finished product, the end result, the success without the process. And when you compare yourself to that, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because while you're focused on their success, you're ignoring your own. You're missing out on the progress you've made. You're blind to how far you've come. And worst of all, you're losing precious time that could be spent building your own future. The moment you stop comparing and start focusing on your own path, everything changes. You start moving at your own pace. You stop feeling like you're behind. You stop measuring yourself by someone else's standards and start creating your own. Because the truth is, life is not a race against anyone but yourself. You are not in competition with the person next to you. You are in competition with the person you were yesterday. The only thing that matters is whether you are growing, improving, and becoming better than you were before. When you focus on your own race, you stop feeling jealous. You stop feeling like you need to prove something to anyone else. You start appreciating your journey, your struggles, your small victories, and that's when you start making real progress. Because instead of wasting time watching someone else win, you are putting in the work to win for yourself. And let me tell you something. Nothing feels better than looking back and realizing that every bit of progress you made was because you stayed in your lane and focused on your own journey. So many people waste years of their life looking at someone else's success, thinking, why not me? But that question is pointless. Success is not about why them and not you. Success is about what you're willing to do to build your own version of it. If you spend all your time watching someone else, you will never have time to work on yourself. And if you don't work on yourself, you will never get anywhere. You have to stop looking at other people as competition. Their success does not take anything away from you. Just because someone else is winning does not mean you are losing. There is enough success, enough opportunity, enough greatness for everyone. But you have to be willing to put in the work for your own. And that means blocking out the noise, shutting down the comparisons, and focusing completely on what you need to do to get better. If you ever find yourself feeling jealous of someone else's success, use that as fuel. Instead of sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, let it inspire you. Let it remind you that if they can do it, so can you. But only if you stop watching them and start putting in the work for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the people who succeed are not the ones who spend their time watching others. They are the ones who stay focused, disciplined, and committed to their own path. No one else's timeline matters. It doesn't matter if someone else got there faster. It doesn't matter if someone else is ahead of you. It doesn't matter if someone else is doing better right now. What matters is that you don't stop. What matters is that you stay consistent. What matters is that every day, you wake up and do what needs to be done to become the best version of yourself. Because if you do that, eventually you will win. Not by being better than someone else, but by being the best version of you. Run your own race. Stay in your lane. Focus on your growth, your progress, your journey. And when you do that, you will realize something powerful. You were never behind. You were always exactly where you were supposed to be. You just needed to stop looking at everyone else and start believing in yourself. Number 7, small steps. Every day, beat big talk. Every day, there is an opportunity to take one more step toward your goals. In a world full of loud promises and big ideas, it is the quiet, steady effort that makes the real difference. When you consistently choose to take small actions, no matter how insignificant they may seem, you build a foundation that can carry you further than any amount of talk ever could. People may boast about their grand visions and claim they have the perfect plan, but those who achieve lasting success are the ones who put in the daily work, even when no one is watching. Every single day, you have the chance to do something that matters. And these small steps repeated consistently beat the empty noise of big talk every time. Imagine the power of showing up, day after day, regardless of how you feel or what challenges come your way. It doesn't take massive leaps or overnight miracles to move forward. Instead, success is often the result of tiny, deliberate actions that, when added up over time, create a significant change. It is not about making huge, dramatic gestures every day. It's about committing to progress, one small step at a time, and trusting that these consistent efforts will eventually lead you to where you want to be. There is a simple truth that many overlook. The person who is busy taking small, steady steps is far more likely to succeed than the one who only talks about how amazing things will be someday. You see, when you focus on making a little progress every day, you create a habit of achievement. Every morning when you rise and decide to work on your goals, you are taking a step in the right direction. Even on days when motivation is low, when the world seems heavy and nothing feels right, choosing to do one small thing can be the spark that reignites your determination. These actions build momentum. With every tiny victory, your confidence grows, and that growing confidence pushes you to do even more. It's a chain reaction, where the smallest effort, repeated consistently, builds into something far greater than you could have imagined. There is a deep satisfaction that comes from knowing that you are making progress, no matter how small. Each day, you have the chance to learn something new, to get a little better, to push a little harder. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't overwhelm you with the weight of a massive, unachievable goal. Instead, it invites you to celebrate the small wins. Perhaps today you decided to read a few pages of a book that inspires you. Perhaps you took a short walk, cleared your mind, and allowed your thoughts to settle. Maybe you tackled a task you had been putting off. These may seem like minor accomplishments, but they are the building blocks of a future filled with promise. When you invest in these small actions, you also learn to appreciate the journey itself. Life is not about waiting for a big breakthrough or a moment of epiphany that changes everything. Life is made up of countless small moments that, when looked back upon, reveal the true extent of your growth. The consistency of taking even a tiny step each day reinforces the idea that progress is not measured by grand gestures, but by the steady accumulation of effort. You begin to see that your future is not some distant concept. It is built in every moment you choose to act, instead of merely talking about what you might do. There is a common misconception that success requires large sacrifices or extraordinary efforts. In reality, the most effective path to achieving your goals is often the simplest one: doing a little bit more every day. The person who sits around waiting for the perfect moment to make a big move rarely gets anywhere. Instead, the people who understand the value of small steps take advantage of every single day, no matter how ordinary it might seem. They know that consistency creates results. They understand that every small action, whether it's writing a few lines of a book, learning a new skill for 5 minutes, or organizing one part of their life, compounds over time. The habits you build today become the legacy of your future. Imagine looking back years from now and realizing that your success wasn't the result of one monumental act, but rather the steady accumulation of small victories. Every time you resisted the urge to procrastinate, every time you chose to do something meaningful instead of giving in to distraction, you added another brick to the foundation of your future. It might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time those bricks build a structure that can withstand even the toughest challenges. This approach not only creates tangible progress, but also builds a resilient mindset. You learn that you can rely on yourself, that you are capable of making consistent choices that lead to positive change. This self-reliance becomes a source of strength that fuels every other aspect of your life. It is important to understand that talk is cheap. People may make grand promises and set lofty goals, but without action, those words are empty. The noise of big talk can be distracting and even discouraging when it sets unrealistic expectations. Instead of getting caught up in what others say or think, focus on what you can do. Your actions, no matter how small, are far more valuable than any amount of talk. Every time you choose to work on your dreams, you are silencing the doubters and proving to yourself that you have what it takes to succeed. You are building a reputation for reliability and determination, qualities that no amount of empty promises can ever match. The journey of self-improvement and growth is not always glamorous. There will be days when progress feels slow or even non-existent. There will be moments when you are tempted to give up, to say that your small steps don't add up to anything significant. But it is in those moments that you must remember the power of consistency. Even on the toughest days, choosing to take one small action is a victory. It may not seem like much at the time, but each step reinforces your commitment and builds your character. Over time, you will notice that those small efforts have led to big changes. The cumulative effect of daily actions is a force that no challenge can stop. Think about the impact of small changes in your own life. Perhaps you decided to wake up just 15 minutes earlier to give yourself a head start. Over months and years, those extra minutes became an hour, and that hour became a foundation for a productive morning routine. Or maybe you committed to writing a single paragraph every day, and eventually you had written a full book. The secret is not in doing everything perfectly or dramatically, but in doing something consistently, regardless of how small it might seem at the time. That is the essence of real progress. Embrace the idea that your future is created by the choices you make today. Every moment you choose action over inaction is a moment invested in your future. The path to success is built on the willingness to show up, even when the results aren't immediately visible. You build trust in yourself with every decision to act, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals. Over time, these decisions become the habits that define your character and shape your destiny. It is not the loud proclamations or the grand gestures that make the difference, but the quiet, persistent actions that accumulate and propel you forward. There is a unique beauty in the process of growth that comes from taking small steps every day. It teaches you patience, persistence, and the value of incremental progress. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, embracing small, consistent efforts is a powerful rebellion against the pressure to achieve everything at once. This approach allows you to build a lasting foundation, one that is sturdy and resilient, capable of supporting your most ambitious dreams. The journey may be long and sometimes arduous, but it is the journey itself that transforms you into the person you are meant to become. In the end, your success will be measured not by how loudly you talked about your dreams, but by the quiet, steady progress you made day in and day out. The future belongs to those who understand that small steps every day beat big talk. It belongs to those who refuse to be distracted by empty promises and instead focus on doing the work, no matter how small it may seem. Every step you take is a testament to your commitment, a reminder that you are in control of your destiny. As you continue to move forward, remember that the path to greatness is paved with the small, deliberate choices you make each day. Keep stepping, keep moving, and know that each small effort brings you closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Number 8. Stop looking for shortcuts. Do the hard work. There's a reason why most people never reach their full potential. It's not because they lack talent, intelligence, or even opportunities. It's because they spend too much time looking for shortcuts instead of doing the hard work. They want the results without the struggle, the rewards without the effort, the success without the sacrifice. But life doesn't work that way. There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. And the sooner you stop looking for the easy way out, the sooner you'll start making real progress. The truth is, anything worth having takes time. It takes energy. It takes discipline. You can't cheat your way to greatness. You can't hack your way into becoming the best version of yourself. If you want to build something that lasts, if you want to create a life that truly means something, you have to be willing to put in the work when nobody's watching, when it's inconvenient, when it's hard. That's where real success is born. Not in the flashy promises of overnight success, not in the empty words of those who claim there's an easy way out, but in the quiet, relentless effort of those who understand that doing the work is the only way forward. Look around, and you'll see people searching for magic formulas, quick fixes, and secret strategies. They buy books that promise instant success. They follow influencers who sell them the idea that wealth, happiness, and achievement can be fast-tracked with a few simple tricks. But deep down, they know the truth. There are no shortcuts. The people who have truly made it, the ones who have built real success, will all tell you the same thing. They put in the hours. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. They did the hard work. And that's what separates the winners from the dreamers. It's tempting to believe that there's an easier way, that you can skip the struggle and still get the rewards, that you can find a way around the pain, the setbacks, the failures. But if you avoid the work, you also avoid the growth. If you avoid the struggle, you also avoid the strength that comes from it. The challenges you face, the late nights, the early mornings, the moments of frustration, those are not roadblocks. Those are the necessary steps. They are the price you must pay for greatness. And the moment you embrace that truth, everything changes. Think about the most successful people in the world. The athletes, the entrepreneurs, the artists, the visionaries. They didn't get there by looking for the easiest way. They got there by committing to the process, by understanding that mastery comes from repetition, from patience, from years of effort. They weren't afraid to do what others wouldn't. While others were searching for shortcuts, they were sharpening their skills. While others were quitting at the first sign of difficulty, they were pushing forward. That's what it takes. The reason so many people fail is because they give up too soon. They try for a little while, and when it gets tough, they start looking for another way. They hop from one thing to another, always chasing the next shortcut, always looking for the next secret that will make everything easier. But those who succeed know that there is no secret. There is only consistency. There is only discipline. There is only the hard work that most people aren't willing to do. And let's be real. Hard work is not glamorous. It's not fun all the time. It's not exciting every day. But it is necessary. It is the foundation of every great achievement. It is the one thing that guarantees progress. When you commit to the work, when you stop searching for the easy way, you put yourself on a path that leads to real results. And the best part, the work itself transforms you. It builds character. It makes you stronger, tougher, more resilient. It turns you into someone who can handle whatever life throws your way. Most people don't realize that the struggle is actually the gift. The process is what makes you great. The effort, the discipline, the setbacks, those are what shape you into someone who deserves success. Because success is not something you stumble upon. It's not something that just happens to you. It's something you earn. And the only way to earn it is by putting in the work, day after day, no matter what. You have to be willing to do the things that most people won't. You have to be willing to show up when it's hard, when it's boring, when it feels like nothing is happening. You have to keep going even when the results aren't immediate. Even when no one is clapping for you. Even when it feels like you're moving at a snail's pace. Because progress is not about speed. It's about direction. It's about consistency. And every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to where you want to be. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see instant results. It's easy to look at others who seem to be ahead and wonder if you're doing something wrong. But the only mistake you can make is quitting too soon. The only real failure is deciding that the hard work isn't worth it. Because every great success story is built on perseverance. It's built on refusing to quit when things get tough. It's built on showing up, day after day, and doing what needs to be done. The people who win in life are not the smartest. They are not the most talented. They are not the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to stop. They are the ones who did the work when others were looking for shortcuts. They are the ones who understood that success is not given. It is earned. And the only way to earn it is to put in the effort, no matter how hard, no matter how long it takes. So stop looking for an easier way. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop searching for a shortcut that doesn't exist. Just do the work. Show up. Put in the hours. Trust the process. And one day when you look back, you will realize that the struggle, the grind, the relentless effort, that was the greatest gift of all. Because it didn't just give you success, it made you into the kind of person who truly deserves it. Number 9. What you allow is what will continue. There comes a moment in life when you have to face a hard truth. What you allow is what will continue. The standards you set, the behaviors you tolerate, the way people treat you, the habits you keep, and the mindset you choose all determine the direction of your life. If you keep accepting less than you deserve, you will always receive less than you are capable of. If you keep making excuses for your own lack of progress, you will never break free from the cycle that holds you back. And if you allow fear, self-doubt, and negativity to take up space in your mind, they will continue to control your decisions, your actions, and your future. Every single day you make choices. Choices about what you accept, what you fight for, what you let slide, and what you put up with. And whether you realize it or not, those choices are shaping your reality. The job that drains you but you never leave. The toxic relationships that you stay in because it's familiar. The bad habits that you justify because it's just who you are. The negative thoughts that run through your mind, unchallenged, like they own the place. All of it continues because you allow it to. And it will keep going until you decide that enough is enough. Life is a reflection of what you tolerate. If you tolerate disrespect, people will keep disrespecting you. If you tolerate laziness from yourself, you will never reach your full potential. If you tolerate excuses, you will never push past your limitations. If you keep telling yourself, this is just how things are, then that's exactly how they will stay. Because nothing changes until you decide to change it. Nothing improves until you refuse to settle. Nothing gets better until you demand better. From yourself, from your circumstances, from the people around you. People often complain about being stuck, about feeling like they are trapped in the same patterns, dealing with the same problems, facing the same struggles year after year. But what they fail to see is that most of the time, they are not trapped. They are choosing to stay where they are. They are choosing to let the same toxic people back into their lives. They are choosing to hold on to the same limiting beliefs. They are choosing to avoid the hard work that real change requires. And as long as they keep allowing it, it will keep happening. You have to take responsibility for what you allow in your life. You have to take control of your environment, your mindset, your habits, and your relationships. If something is draining your energy, if something is keeping you stuck, if something is stopping you from becoming who you are meant to be, then you have to make a decision. Either you change it, or you accept that it will continue. But you cannot complain about something you refuse to change. You cannot expect different results while allowing the same behaviors, the same mistakes, and the same weaknesses to run your life. The hard part is realizing that most of the limits you face are self-imposed. Most of the obstacles in your way are there because you put them there, or because you refuse to remove them. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of stepping into the unknown, those fears will keep running your life, as long as you let them. The habit of procrastination, the habit of doubting yourself, the habit of playing small, those habits will keep controlling you, until you decide that they don't anymore. If you want a different life, you have to demand more from yourself. You have to stop making excuses for why things aren't changing. You have to stop blaming your past, your circumstances, or other people for why you aren't where you want to be. Because the truth is, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to do the work for you. Nobody is going to change your life unless you decide that you will. And it starts with what you allow. Start paying attention to the patterns in your life. The things that keep happening over and over again. The situations that you always find yourself in. The way people treat you. The way you treat yourself. None of it is random. All of it is a reflection of what you accept, what you ignore, what you refuse to address. And the moment you realize that, you regain your power, because if you allowed it, you can also stop allowing it. The moment you start saying I deserve better, you begin to attract better. The moment you stop making excuses for your lack of discipline, you start making progress. The moment you stop tolerating half-hearted effort from yourself, you start achieving things you never thought possible. It's not about being perfect. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about making the decision to stop settling for less than what you are capable of. You have to be willing to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. That means letting go of relationships that drain you. That means quitting habits that keep you weak. That means changing the way you speak to yourself. That means demanding more from yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. Because comfort is the enemy of growth. And as long as you allow yourself to stay comfortable, you will never become the person you are meant to be. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you deserve better. Stop waiting for life to magically change. Stop hoping that things will improve without any effort from you. If you want a better life, create one. If you want better habits, build them. If you want more respect, start by respecting yourself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't align with your worth. At the end of the day, you teach people how to treat you by what you accept. You train your mind by the thoughts you allow. You shape your future by the actions you take. And every day you have a choice to keep tolerating what is or to demand what could be. But understand this, life will never give you more than you are willing to fight for. It will never reward excuses. It will never hand you success. It will only reflect what you continuously allow. So make the decision, make the change, set the standard, and watch how your life transforms when you stop settling for anything less than what you are truly capable of. Number 10. The real battle is you versus you. There's only one real battle in life, and it's not against the competition. It's not against the doubters, the haters, or the people who don't believe in you. It's not against the economy, your background, or the obstacles in your way. The real battle is you versus you. The version of you that wants to stay comfortable versus the version of you that wants to grow. The part of you that makes excuses versus the part of you that knows you're capable of more. The side of you that wants to quit versus the side of you that refuses to back down. Every single day, that battle is happening inside of you. The question is, which side are you letting win? Are you letting laziness win over discipline? Are you letting fear win over courage? Are you letting distractions win over focus? Because if you're not careful, the weaker version of you will take over. The version that hits snooze instead of getting up early to work on your goals. The version that keeps putting things off instead of taking action. The version that talks about change but never follows through. And if you let that version of yourself win too many times, before you know it, years will pass and you'll still be in the same place. The biggest enemy of success isn't the world outside. It's the war inside your own mind. It's the voice that says, maybe I'm not good enough. It's the feeling of self-doubt that makes you hesitate when you should move forward. It's the fear of failure that makes you hold back when you should be all in. That voice, that doubt, that fear, it will keep showing up, trying to pull you back to your old ways. And if you don't fight back, it will win. But here's what you need to understand. You are not your weaknesses. You are not your fears. You are not your past failures. You are the choices you make every single day. And the good news is, you have the power to decide which version of yourself you will be. The disciplined version, or the lazy version. The strong version, or the weak version. The focused version, or the distracted version. You have the power to choose, and every choice adds up. The problem is, most people keep waiting for motivation. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until the circumstances are perfect. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you'll feel unstoppable. Other days you won't feel like doing anything. And if you only take action when you feel motivated, you'll never be consistent enough to win the battle. The people who succeed, the ones who truly transform their lives, don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They do the work even when it's uncomfortable. They push forward even when no one is watching. You have to stop letting the weaker version of yourself make decisions for you. You have to stop letting excuses control your actions. You have to stop letting fear hold you back. Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," the weaker version of you wins. Every time you let distractions take over, the weaker version of you wins. Every time you choose comfort over progress, the weaker version of you wins. And the more times you let that happen, the harder it becomes to break free. But the moment you decide to take control, everything changes. The moment you stop negotiating with yourself, the game shifts. The moment you tell yourself, "I don't care how I feel, I'm going to do what needs to be done," you take back your power. Because success isn't about feeling like it. It's about doing it anyway. It's about waking up early, even when you're tired. It's about hitting the gym, even when you don't feel like working out. It's about staying disciplined, even when no one is holding you accountable. The real battle isn't about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about who has the best resources. It's about who can conquer themselves, who can defeat their own doubts, who can overcome their own weaknesses, who can silence the voice that says, "Take the easy way out," and instead choose the hard path, the path of discipline, consistency, and perseverance. There's a reason why so few people reach their full potential. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because they lose the battle within. They let fear win. They let procrastination win. They let comfort win. But the people who rise, the people who make it to the top, they win that battle every single day. They don't let their emotions dictate their actions. They don't wait for the right moment. They create the right moment. So you have to ask yourself, who is in control? The weak version of you, or the strong version? The version that wants to take shortcuts, or the version that is willing to do the hard work? The version that makes excuses, or the version that takes responsibility? Because the battle will never stop. Every day, the weaker version of you will try to take over. But the good news is, you always have the power to fight back. Winning this battle isn't about one big moment. It's about the small decisions you make every day. It's about getting up when you feel like staying in bed. It's about doing one more rep when your body wants to quit. It's about saying no to distractions when your mind wants to wander. It's about making the hard choice over and over again until discipline becomes your default setting. And once you master that, once you learn to defeat the version of you that wants to settle, that wants to take the easy way out, that wants to stay comfortable, that's when everything changes. That's when you become unstoppable. That's when you stop making excuses and start making progress. That's when you take control of your future, instead of letting your bad habits, your fears, and your past control you. At the end of the day, nobody else is stopping you. Not your circumstances, not your past, not the people around you. It's you versus you. And the version of you that wins will determine the life you create. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop negotiating with your excuses. Get up, do the work, win the battle, and become the person you were meant to be. The hardest battle you will ever fight is against the person you were yesterday. Win that battle, and you win at life. This is it, the truth you can't ignore. The real battle was never about proving anything to anyone else. It was never about getting their approval or waiting for the perfect timing. It has always been about you versus you. The version of you that wants to stay comfortable, take the easy way out, and avoid challenges. And the version of you that is ready to rise, ready to grow, ready to become unstoppable. Every choice you make is either pushing you forward or holding you back. Every time you wake up and decide to take action, instead of making excuses, you win. Every time you push past your fears, instead of running from them, you win. And every time you refuse to let distractions, laziness, or self-doubt control you, you win. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the person staring back at you in the mirror. Here's the good news. You are in control. No one is stopping you. No one is holding you back but yourself. And that means you have the power to change everything. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. You don't need permission. You don't need motivation. You just need to decide that from this moment on, you are done playing small. You are done letting your fears win. You are done watching other people succeed while you stay stuck in the same place. Now is the time, not to talk about change, but to be the change. Not to wait for opportunities, but to create them. Not to hope for success, but to demand it from yourself. Because the life you want, the success you dream of, the person you are meant to become, it's all on the other side of this battle. And the only question left is, are you ready to win? The choice is yours.